this evening, new instrument for teachers to monitor their performance on stream, government looking to regularize mining landings, and several plans are underway to improve agriculture in Region 3. These and other stories when the news returns. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. I am Renetta LaFleur. Here are the details. The Ministry of Education is moving to develop a new instrument for teachers' appraisal. Details in this report.
Chief Education Officer Acting Marcel Hudson says this will allow for greater accountability of teachers in terms of education delivery. The appraisal form is used as a measuring tool to assess teachers' performance competency for decision-making, such as their possible promotion.
With this new approach, some of the things that we'll see coming out has to do, some of those things deal with greater accountability on the part of our teachers. The whole issue of our teachers taking responsibility for their own professional development. So what we have decided to do is to develop a more variables that are more measurable in terms of getting a sense as to where our teachers are at.
Hudson says that the whole instrument is inoperable, as it is obscure in terms of spelling out clear guidelines for the teacher's evaluation.
The instrument that we have inherited, the instrument that I've seen, that instrument, some of the areas that they're attempting to measure, they're kind of vague. Right, if you talk about deportment, it doesn't specify, how a teacher should really dress. But the terms are vague, no specifics in terms of what they should wear. If you talk about professionalism, no specific behavior that you could measure in terms of how you conduct yourself as a professional. And I think one of the big things for me as a professional it has to do with with accountability. You can't have a situation where you are in charge of a class for an entire year and there is no movement in terms of the performance of our children, and you are happy about that.
He says that the new instrument will not only provide for fair, effective, and consistent teachers' evaluation, but will also provide for across-the-board quality education of learners in our public schools.
We believe that our teachers, they are pivotal to the system if we're going to improve and we're going to get the kind of results that we're asking for at the different levels, at grades 4, 6, CXC. And to say there are lots of teachers out there that are very hardworking, they're hardworking, but we want to bring all of our teachers to a certain level so that they could be impacting in terms of their performance.
Through the Secondary Improvement Project, a consultant has been hired to work with the ministry on the development of the new instrument. This is expected to be completed by January 2018. Michaela Santos, Government News Brief.
Minister within the Ministry of Natural Resources, Simone Brooms, is working with the Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission to regularize mining landings. Tiffany Rodius has the details.
Minister Brooms notes that regularizing landings in the interior is one way of addressing squatting, particularly by shop owners. Minister Brooms says she has engaged the Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission to address this issue.
I spoke to the Commissioner for Lands and Survey, bringing it to his attention and to say that if Lands and Survey can come in so you could survey, likewise the people at Korupong was calling for that and in Bamadai, so that if you put these buildings and all of that, you got some kind of security by receiving a title for the land.
The minister was in the Puruni Back Dam over the weekend and received complaints by the operators of the Puruni crossing about shops impeding them from docking.
The people from the pontoon complain and say that the shops are too close to the river. And so this post that you see here, they nearly had an accident where it was clipped by the wire and nearly fall on the shop.
Minister Brooms, who met with miners at the Puruni landing, implores them to comply with regulations set out by the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission. Minister Brooms says that as the regularization of landings is being explored, she will not tolerate non-compliance. For the Government News Brief, Tiffany Rogers.
The Region 3 administration is working towards implementing several projects to advance the region's agricultural sector. More in this report from Neola Damon.
Region 3 Regional Executive Officer Dennis Jaikaran says that the regional administration is partnering with several organizations to assist the farmers in different ways to improve their agricultural practices.
This region will form what is known as a stakeholders committee that comprises of the NDIA, the Farmers Association, the Water Users Association, the regional administration, and the Borosiri Conservancy board that would allow us to be able to make contact on a regular basis. What we do is to look at the drainage and irrigation and the possibility of helping our farmers in different ways and in different means.
The Region 3 REO notes that the regional administration is conducting outreach programs targeting farmers.
Time and again, the regional administration will do outreach programs and we are able to speak with our farmers. But what we do at our level, we provide adequate drainage and irrigation wherever possible based on our resources to be able to help our farmers.
A Region 3 team recently visited Hog Island to inspect farming areas and interact with farmers. This exercise will be extended to other areas in the region. Neil Damon, Government News Brief.
The lone Indigenous community in Region 5, Moraikabai, is currently embarking on a number of projects to enhance economic development. Find out how from Gabriela Patram.
Moraikabai recently benefited from a $2 million Jubilee grant from the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs. The money is being used for 3 projects: the completion of the lower flat of the multipurpose building, the repair of the village's launch boat, and to procure equipment to engage in value-added products. Tushar Colin Andrews explains.
Presently, we are in the stream of working on the launch. They are working on the launch. We are using our own resource person to do that. We have already purchased the ministry purchased the tools for the multi-purpose. We received that. We still yet to receive a planer from the ministry. And shortly from now, we will be going into the completion of the multi-purpose hall, lower flat, whereby we will be constructing a sanitary block.
Moraikabai, which has a population of over 500 people, sits on an abundance of natural resources. In the past, the community was known for its mass agricultural activities, but those gradually subsided when it became difficult to maintain the crops. Tushar Andrews says that the village council is currently engaging the residents on the possibilities of getting back into agriculture.
This is an area that we haven't been too much heavily concentrating on, like I said, but it is something that we are now paying attention to, because our forests are being deforested presently and we wanted to convert. That is why I've taken it one step at a time. We focus on tourism, then the agriculture drive. So we are having discussion presently. We have 2 farmers group in the community and ready to establish themselves. And we understand that unless you be in a group, only then assistance can be rendered. So we are working there also. But we see it as a way forward, and the council is working with the people.
The youths are also involved in training under the Hinterland Employment and Youth Service HAZE program. They are specializing in areas such as agriculture, tourism, and catering. In December, the Ghana Tourism Authority and tour operators visited Moraikabai and sought to explore the tourism offerings of the area. It has managed to maintain its rich Arawak culture and also has potential for caiman spotting and exploring for other wildlife. For the Government News Brief, Gabriela Patram.
Legwan rice farmers and residents are now benefiting from improved drainage thanks to an intervention by the Regional Democratic Council of Region 3. Delon Sanko tells us more.
Rice farming is the main economic activity of Legwan. During the floods in December 2016, several communities in Region 3 were affected, including Legwan. Regional Engineer Region 3 Joseph Patterson says this disrupted farming activities in Waterloo Village on the island due to clogged and blocked drains. He explains that the RDC took the initiative to repair the sluice in the areas to prevent this reoccurrence.
This was one of the issues that the Legwan people face, is they weren't getting proper drainage because the door wasn't functioning properly. So this late last year, due to our savings, the administration had found this to be essential and included in their agriculture program.
Patterson explains that sluice doors were repaired, the wrenches replaced, and the new wire ropes installed. He says the residents in the Waterloo are relieved and can now farm with ease.
People of Leguan, mainly Waterloo area, is now getting proper drainage from this sluice. It wasn't functioning, so we had to treat it as an emergency cases in terms of like they weren't getting proper drainage.
The regional engineer noted that works were done at the cost of $2.2 million. He adds that there are other plans to improve drainage in other areas in the island this year.
The plan for 2017, we have another drainage structure we intend to build at Eastern Endeavour. That would be a drainage structure that would be a cost of $5 million. It should finish within the next 2 months' time or so.
Patterson says all agricultural work undertaken are being done under the Regional Agricultural Development Program. Dalon Sanko for the Government News Brief.
This has been another edition of the Government News Brief. The details of these and other stories can be found on Genius website. We encourage you to subscribe to our website and YouTube channel. You can also like and follow us on Facebook to be updated as the news unfolds. Do join us again tomorrow for another edition of the Government News Brief. I am Renetta LaFleur. Thank you for watching.